Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to read your final invoice once and for all. I'm also going to teach you how to negotiate from that invoice with the dealership over the phone. And lastly, I'm going to teach you how to get financed before you go to the dealership, making sure you get the best rate. Those of you who are new to my channel, my name's Bill. I'm a car buying expert and I love saving you money at the dealership. This is exactly what the dealership should send you when you ask for final out the door numbers. This is going to lay out your taxes, your fees, the sale price, any discounts, any down payment, any trade, and it's going to reflect the bottom line. That's what I'm always talking about. That 51,657, that's your bottom line. That's your out the door number. A lot of you say, how do I get the numbers over the phone? Well, I'm not always going to get the numbers from the dealership. A lot of times they're going to tell me, absolutely not, you have to come in. It really depends on the story I tell them, the dealership I call. And in the end, if a dealership's not willing to give you numbers over the phone, they just insist that you're in-house, then they're probably hiding something and they weren't worth worrying about in the first place. You need to call the dealership, ask the secretary who the top salesman is, and try and work with that person. That's the person that's most likely to get you the best deals. The reason for this call is because I'm going to try and build some rapport. When you text or email, it's not as important to the dealership and you're not showing that you're very motivated to purchase that day. So I make the phone call to make the connection so they can hear my voice, they can hear that I'm serious, and I can tell them if everything lines up, I'm ready to move forward. Whether it's new or used, I'm going to have some questions for that salesperson, and most likely I'm going to get off the phone with them after I ask those questions and insist that they text me back. So now that salesperson's texting me pictures of my new or used vehicle, and the next question is going to be pretty obvious. How much does all of this cost? So I simply just send over my address and my full name for that person to make a file for me, figure out my taxes and figure out my fees, and I ask, can I get some out the door numbers? Now, if they're willing to send over out the door numbers, which a lot of dealerships are, that's great. This is a perfect opportunity for you to check everything out. This particular dealership sent me the numbers over, and I was able to see that if I had went in there, I would have been blindsided by the etch fee, the reconditioning fee, the Pro Pack. Clearly, there's about $5,000 in extras on top of the price they were asking, which was making that market selling price that I thought was so attractive, not so attractive. Now, this would have sucked if I went to the dealership. I really liked the car. I thought the selling price was awesome. And then I found out it had all these stupid extras and the dealership's not willing to budge on them. Of course, they are optional things, but the dealership always is going to say that they're already on the vehicle. There's no way we can take them off. They're going to use them as negotiation tools so you don't try and negotiate the price. So to negotiate these, I just tell my salesman that I want $5,000 off the price, which is going to bring us down to $46,657. And from there, I'll be at the actual asking price of the vehicle, plus the fees that should be on there and my taxes, minus all the accessories. Now, if the vehicle was at a bad price, I would ask for an even bigger discount. But since I'm only trying to get rid of the accessories here, that's all I asked for off. I have only ever had one dealership tell me they will not take any of the accessories off. That's the price, deal with it or move on. Every other dealership that has ever sent me numbers over the phone that has these extras always is willing to work with me. So now that you have this negotiated, let's say you got your salesman down to that 46 mark and you're really happy with the price, everything seems good. They're going to tell you, when can you come in after that? Now that you have it negotiated, you should come in after you get the financing squared away. There is no reason to go sit down at the dealership and have them keep coming back and forth from the finance manager's office telling you these insane rates that you know you can get a better rate than just because you're in-house. When you do it over the phone, they will try that one time. They will send you one shitty high rate, and then after that you tell them, I want a purchase order. Send me over whatever I need to bring to my bank to bring you guys a check because I don't trust your financing. Now you have the price negotiated and you have the finance team by the balls. 99% of the time, once you tell them you're going to bring your own check, they're going to all of a sudden come up with this miraculous better rate that you should have gotten in the first place. Remember, the first price and the first rate that any dealership tells you is the best one for them, not for you. Last but not least, send your ID and your current insurance to your salesperson so they can get the entire file typed and everything done before you get there. That way, you are in and out in like an hour and a half. This was obviously for a used vehicle, but this works for used and new just the same. The only difference being is that if I get numbers for a new vehicle, I'll use those to send to other competitors that have the same vehicle to see if they can beat the price. Whereas with used vehicles, I just put a lot of lines in the water and hope somebody bites. All too often, I have seen people go to the dealership, they didn't have everything in writing, and the dealership completely lied and changed everything, and the person just had to settle for some shitty deal. Always get everything in writing, especially stuff you negotiate over the phone, including term and rate, and bring it with you so you can verify and cross-reference when you're there. Get a bunch of vehicles that you're interested in and then call all the dealerships. It's not always going to work out. It's not always going to be a huge discount, but you'll never know unless you try. And I'd much rather find out from home than at each and every dealership striking out over and over again. Hope this information helps. And for more content just like this, please follow Billy the Car Kid.